Persona 5 so good, Persona 3 so good. And then people were like, I don't know about Persona 4. Or they'll play it and they can't get into it because it doesn't look as nice. Yo, fuck off. Go play that fucking game. All right? This is to all the Persona 4 haters out there. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Dual Hemisphere Hangout. My name is Luke, and join with me every single week. I do have my lovely co-host, Jake. Jake, say hello to the people, my man.
I'm back. I feel like I've left, but I haven't yet. I'm about to leave.
You are about to leave. You are about to leave. You're about to. I'm not going to be able to see your face on a weekly basis for about 3 weeks. So
yeah,
it's all for. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to go see Jack. So that's all that matters. All right. At the end of the day.
I messaged him the other day and I was like, you know what? Like, it only just got real to me because I got an email from the hotel saying, like, don't forget, you've booked this. And I was like, oh God, damn, you're right. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about it.
It's so funny because I was thinking about the other day. Me and you've told me like 5 times what the date was, and I'm just like, yep, sounds good. And they're like, I swear to God, I literally just need text footage of what it is, because I'm like trying to map out how things are gonna go. And I'm like, do we need 3 podcasts? Do we need 2 podcasts? What are we doing here? And like, he's told me like 5 times, and I feel really bad asking him to repeat himself.
Nah, I'm fine. I look at my calendar like at least 3 times a day, going like, when do I leave again? I get the same questions. It's just constant. Like people berating me, going, "When do you leave? When are you back? Like, what are you doing?" I think the common problem we're having at the moment is because I've like flat out refused to make a plan when I go back. Like, I haven't had an actual like holiday in the longest time. I just want to sit there, relax, and enjoy it. I don't want any interruptions. I don't want to make a plan like I did at Christmas when I went back and it was just constant beration of like, oh, you're coming over here, you're coming and doing that. I'm not having that this time. But everyone seems to think that I am. So they're like, tell me your itinerary. Where are you this day? Where are you that day? It's like, I'm not doing anything. Leave me alone. If you want to see me, you know where I'll be. In the pub.
Yeah, come to me. Come to me. I'll be at this pub at this time, and that's it.
Every day for Jake, 3 weeks.
Yes. But Jake, you are not at the pub yet. We're here. We are doing our recording. Today we are talking, kind of building off of the game category that we did last week, where you went through all my games. Got me really thinking about potentially talking about some of our more underrated games that we just personally feel that deserves more attention. We're talking about games that aren't like your Call of Duties, your GTAs, your Red Deads, these critically acclaimed games that everyone knows about, but more of those like underground games. They don't have to be like specifically indie games or anything like that, but just games that you, as being a fan of, that you personally do love a lot, and you wish more people would pick up the sticks and try it out. So today we're going to be talking about that. I got about 3 off the top of my head that I'd like to talk to. Probably I'll come up with one more as I'm thinking about it, as I'm reflecting on games. But one of the first games I think I'd honestly would like to talk about is, we touched on it a little bit on my game catalog, but I really truly believe that the Burnout series deserves more love than it does get. I feel like a lot of people tend to forget about Burnout. I don't know why that is.
Pick it back up. I got angry with it. I think if you listen to last episode, I binned off Burnout because I didn't understand what Burnout was. Like, the whole checkpoints ruined it for me. So then I instantly went to Need for Speed because it's very much arcadey and you don't get that. And I feel like, did I just miss out? Completely miss out?
I think you did, because I think when you started playing, because I remember the first 2 Burnouts specifically were very much, you have a track, you have to hit through these checkpoints to get time, and if you don't hit those checkpoints, you don't finish the race, yada, yada, yada. Once they switched to Burnout 3 Takedown, where they really focused more on the crashing and taking out your opponents side of things, I think that's where Burnout really, really found its kind of niche in the early 2000s racing category. I personally think I think I loved it specifically because personally speaking, I was never really good at racing games at all. Like I was okay. I could get through checkpoint to checkpoint, but drifting around the corners and stuff like that was just like never my forte. So that's why like Need for Speed didn't really speak to me too much. Um, Midnight Club was fun, don't get me wrong, but it was not a game that I continuously went back to. I always just found myself going back to Burnout because of the fact that it wasn't just solely focused on getting into first place. There's other things that you could really do with it. You would have a take like there would be different game modes in it. And for me, as racing games kind of developed later on into what we know now with our Forza Horizons, our Cruise, our newer Need for Speeds, where there's more than you're just racing. I think Burnout and early Need for Speed did pretty good at doing that because Need for Speed offered the cop chasing aspect of that, which I think is what led me to not enjoy Need for Speed specifically, is because I did not like the idea that I was always constantly being chased on top of trying to beat my opponent in a race.
Yeah,
I think that, and then like having to escape and remember the shortcuts and stuff like that. I think as a little 7-year-old brain, 8-year-old brain, that was a little too much for me, which is why I was very much more with the crash do your thing. But specifically I do just want to give a shout out, not specifically to just the Burnout games but specifically Burnout Paradise. I really think that Burnout Paradise is one of the best racing games ever made, hands
I
down.
need to
I
see
think
what Burnout I played. Like,
Yeah, I think Burnout Paradise is the best racing game ever. I really do. I trust me, I love Forza Horizon 2, and I think it's my personal favorite. But Burnout Paradise, for the time that it came out, was a very, very well developed open world racing game that I think does not get as many flowers as it gets, because I think a lot of people got overwhelmed with the amount of racers coming out in that time frame from 2002 to about 2008. On that time frame, it was you had all your Need for Speeds, you had all your Midnight Clubs, you had all your Burnouts, you had your beginning of your Forzas, you had your the PlayStation 1 Gran Turismo, you had Dirt, you had so many racing games in that time period. I think Burnout got lost in the shuffle, and people when
yeah,
they think of EA racing, they just go to Need for Speed. And me personally speaking, I just think Burnout Paradise and the Burnout series in general is just that much better than at least in that time period, that much better than a lot of the other racing games that were coming out at the time period. Surely for the amount of things you could do, because you could do your basic races, you can do your crashes, you could do your demolition ones, you could do your find the fastest route. There are so many different options that you could take with Burnout specifically, that it made it more fun and probably honestly a little bit more replayable than you beat 5 races, then you go for the championship, and then you move to the next area and you get a new car, you do this, da da da, which is kind of was the formula for a lot of the racers back in the day. I think Burnout Paradise did a really good job, and honestly is probably the very beginning of what probably inspired the early Forza Horizons and made Need for Speed themselves once they finally stopped making Burnout. Because I believe the studio that made Burnout ended up shutting down and that are getting absorbed into the Need for Speed formula. Need for
yeah.
Speed things, because no matter what, as much as I love Burnout, Need for Speed was always more popular.
I'm just
But
looking.
yeah,
So
Burnout,
yeah,
great.
I was playing Gran Turismo free A spec
Okay.
in 2001. So if it was 2001, it's the point between the original Burnout and Burnout 2 Point of Impact.
Yep. There
Um,
you go. Hmm.
and that's probably why I didn't pick it up, because
Yeah.
I mean I loved Gran Turismo free A spec. Like,
Yeah.
that was my jam. I was doing like there used to be a Le Mans, like, you know, that 24-hour Le Mans.
Hmm.
I didn't do the 24 hours, but I did have one of my dad's friends, Jimmy. He has a full racing sim in his house, and he did a 24-hour Le Mans, like full on.
That,
Where, like, obviously they have like two drivers and they take it in
mhm.
shifts, so they do like 6 hour, 8 hour shifts. So he
Yeah.
did the full thing. Like, obviously the other thing was simulated when he got out. But I was like,
Yeah.
that's commitment. But I love playing it when you could do it like in an hour. You'd have like a
Yeah.
full hour race, and it would take you through the night and then the day again. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh my god, that is sick. So that's probably what threw Burnout away for me. I didn't like the fact that it was probably arcadey, and then I was coming from pure racing
Yeah.
sim, where
Oh yeah.
like you do not like if you don't brake at the right time, you're in the gravel and you're dead. Like
Exactly.
it's
Yeah, yeah,
over.
yeah, yeah. Going from like you said, going from Gran Turismo to Burnout
And
definitely
out.
probably was probably not the thing. But I guess my question to you is like what drew you to Need for Speed?
I think it was one of my friends, Matty. He had was it Underground 2?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
and I think that one was like the holy grail that Need for Speed could never recreate again because one, because car laws came in and they weren't allowed to put like they had to abide by
Mm,
like the laws of the road, which is like they I think the later games you're not allowed neons and you're not allowed spinners and like it's a game,
yeah.
man. Like come on.
But that's why we went to
Uh
Midnight Club.
yeah.
They broke the
uh,
rules. That's why there's not many left. That's why there weren't that many out there.
but I feel like it's just because I didn't pick up Burnout and then Need for Speed was around, that became the arcade
Yeah.
game that I
Mhm,
gravitated to. And then I'm not gonna lie, like Need for Speed Carbon was hours in that game. Hours.
mhm.
Oh, it was so good. So good. I miss that like just weaving down a mountain in a Mitsubishi Lancer with I think you were still allowed neons at the time. I feel like
Yeah,
you were.
I think Carbon you were, yeah.
I had like pink neons underneath the car, and then the soundtrack slapped. If they could like remaster Carbon, that would be. I would pick that up. I would definitely pick that up
Okay.
because have they done remasters? Like has Need for Speed done remasters, or have they just like repurposed? Because
I
they've
think
never
they've repur I think they've they didn't
maybe have
remaster anything. I think they just rebranded it and they started with Need for Speed again. And then it went to like Need for Speed Rivals, Need for Speed something else. But they've never, to my knowledge, haven't done like a HD remake of anything.
games. Here we go. So the first one came out on PC. Did you know this? And
Yeah.
it was
No.
the Need for Speed.
The Need for Speed.
Don't
Ooh.
forget the
Yeah, they
Need
took
for Speed
they took the out.
in 1994, and then Need for Speed
Ooh,
2 came out, so they dropped the. Um,
yeah.
and it was only on PlayStation. Oh,
Okay.
Need for Speed 2 and Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit. So
Hot
they
Pursuit.
definitely did Hot Pursuit again, right?
Yeah, I think they remade Hot Pursuit, or they reimagined
Yes,
Hot
they
Pursuit.
did. 2010 Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. The revival of Hot Pursuit name was later remastered in November 2020, prior to the 10th anniversary of its release. Okay,
Okay, cool.
cool. Yeah, Carbon was 2006. Most Wanted was 2005, because I remember Most Wanted as well, because that was the whole point of just getting in police chases, and you
Yep,
kind of
that's the
forgot
one I
about the
played.
story of the game. You just kind of
Yeah,
got yourself to 5 stars and then tried to get away, because that's how you got what's his face's Skyline,
yeah.
Brian
The
Walker.
cannot. I
I
can't
think
remember.
it's Brian Walker.
Paul
Um,
Walker.
Paul Walker. Oh,
Yeah.
Brian. Where did I get Brian from? Do you know what it is? I'm watching too many like just brain rot streamers and they call the
Oh man,
TTS Brian. It's Paul Walker. Jesus Christ. We've just
just
lost
like
about
Brian Walker.
our one and only listener because it's like fucking Brian Walker. Who the fuck is Brian? Um
He's the biggest for family.
family. Oh, and then Underground 2 was 2004. So they went on a run. They did 2003,
Yeah.
2004, 2005, and 2006, and 7, and 8, 9.
There
2 in
there was a
9.
game
They
every
did
year.
Nitro and Shift.
Ew. Was Shift on the Wii?
Let's have a look. Um, yes, Nitro was the Wii
Okay.
and DS. And then they did the same again,
o
where they did Need for Speed World and Hot Pursuit,
okay.
but World was only for PC.
Okay.
And then Shift 2 Unleashed, which then came out on iOS as well,
Hmm.
and Need for Speed The Run, which was main series apparently. and then they stopped doing that. 2015, they released 2 as well. Oh yeah, it was a mobile game, so they did No Limits, and then just Need for Speed came out.
Yeah.
Series reboot requires consistent
Yep.
internet. Oh my god, it requires consistent internet activity.
Yeah, I remember that because that was a big thing coming out of the E3 when they were, like, rebranding it, and they're like, "What the fuck, EA? EA
Yeah,
doing EA shit."
like let me play it offline. I mean, it's the same as
I
like
know.
with the new PlayStation handheld, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a PSP. It's a portable PlayStation taken
Yeah.
literally, but you need internet
Yes.
connection. And I mean,
Yes.
the
Best believe
reason
you
if you're
better have your
taking it,
Wi-Fi.
yeah, and you're probably using hotel Wi-Fi, and it's gonna be garbage, like because
Yeah.
you're taking it away from your home. You're not
Yeah.
going
It's
to
dumb.
fast fiber internet, are you? Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's dumb. It's dumb. Stupid concept. Just remake the PSP, please.
Yeah, oh god. I mean, I'm
What
happy
are we
with
doing?
mine. I just need to mod it so I can bring it back to life
Yeah.
because the UMD
There you go.
thing at the back is absolutely garbage. It's
Mhm.
completely broken. That being said,
Yeah.
yeah, so Burnout was a pretty good one. I should really pick that back up, but I mean, it'll be on the back burner of a long, 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 long,
Yeah,
long,
yeah.
long, long
On the
list of
back.
games.
Yeah. I mean, you can probably play the remaster and enjoy it for like 10 hours and be like, all right, this was fun. But yeah, no, it's just like, it's honestly, if you're going to go play an open world racer that has a lot of fun, just go play Forza Horizon. That's what I tell people. If you want to get the burnout experience, just go play Forza Horizon. Go play a Forza Horizon. You get most of the burnout fun from Forza Horizon that I did.
Better
That's why I
graphics,
fell in love with. That's
more
why I fell in love
cars.
with Forza Horizon. I remember playing Forza Horizon 2 and sitting in my college dorm, not college dorm, my college apartment, my sophomore year, playing it and be like, this just reminds me of Burnout. I am having so much fun. I love the fact that I can just drive off the track. Sick. And that was it. That was it. And and then 110 hours later.
I suppose I do have one at the back of my mind that is like,
Okay.
is it an underrated game though? Because this one's I liked Mirror's Edge, but I never really played it myself. I watched my
Okay.
friend play it because he was well into free running at the time, and
Mhm.
I never did free running. I was never in a fitness state where I could climb a wall. I'm not.
Fair.
uh,
Fair.
but I feel like this one didn't get as much traction, but it did get a second game, I believe. Mirror's Edge
Yeah.
2 came out, but the first one
Yeah.
came out in 2008,
Mhm.
which is
And
a
then with the
long, long
second one
time
coming like
ago.
20 was that one like when the second one came out 2013, 2014?
Let me see. Mirror's Edge 2. I just like it because of the art style, man. The whole
The
like
art style's
white
cool.
world with just like the one red slap of color. Um,
Mhm.
oh, it's called Mirror's Edge Catalyst in 2016.
Okay.
Oh my god,
Oh wow.
did they do,
So 8 years later. Okay.
did they do anything else?
No, I don't think so.
2016.
I think
I
Mirror
thought it came out earlier than that, bro. Time is flying.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm thinking of I know, right? I'm thinking about it. It's like, yeah, that's a weird time period where EA was kind of in the dumps. And this like people were really trashing on EA because they were just they were just Madden and battlefielding it out. And they were like, all right, we want more. And so they finally like, all right, well, we got a pretty big catalog. I guess we'll grab something. And I feel like they grabbed Edge and threw Mirror's Edge Catalyst at the wall and hoping it was sick. I never personally played Mirror's Edge. I know the people that did play it absolutely loved it to the point that EA felt that they needed to go into the bag and go grab it and do a sequel 8 years later. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, Mirror's Edge, it's the art
it,
style, man. It's
it's
got a
very
vibe
good.
to it, man. It's got a
It's
vibe
it,
to it.
it's definitely very good, and then the fact that it was very linear as well, it felt more like an arcadey type, um, not platformer, but definitely like you had to go one way and you couldn't turn around. Once you started running, you
Yeah.
couldn't really stop. And then
Mhm.
I remember at one point there was guns. I was like, hang on,
Yeah.
what? When did we get this? Because usually I'm just kicking the shit out of people, and then I got a gun. I was like,
Mhm.
holy crap! Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's like a time trial mode. I feel like is this an underrated pick though? I feel like many people have played this or
I
know
feel
about it.
I feel like people know about it. I don't know if I would necessarily I think in the year 2025, it's underrated because no one's probably thought about Mirror's Edge. But I think the time it
For
came
10
out,
years. And
yeah,
there's me thinking
I
it
think
came out in like 2022.
yeah. And so I think it's underrated to people who probably haven't thought about Mirror's Edge. I personally have never played it. I mean, you said did you play it, right? Or did you know watch someone play it?
I watched someone play it, yeah. And then I would occasionally do the time trial stuff.
Okay.
Just because like it was like it's bragging rights between your friends. So you pass the
Yeah.
controller, say, go on, beat that then. And then
Mhm.
you would, and then you just sit there for what would be 8 hours of you just playing the same level over and over again, just trying to beat each other's best
Mhm.
time or best score. And I feel like it didn't get the hype that it deserved.
Mm.
It's probably really good to play on Steam at the moment. I'm not gonna lie. It apparently it's still $20. Oh, well, that's EA for you.
Yeah.
Something that was released in 2009 is still $20.
Yeah.
Come
It's
on.
$20, but you could probably get it for free if you have the EA pass.
Yeah, I forget. I
Yeah.
forget. I always
Yeah.
forget EA Pass is a thing. But
Yeah.
oh
Was it
god,
EA Play? I think that's what it's called.
yeah,
EA
something like
Play.
that. Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mirror's Edge is
it
yeah,
was a
I
good
mean,
game.
I would say in the year 2025 it's underrated.
Yeah,
This is I don't think I think people are like if like listening to this will be like Mirror's Edge like, "Oh my god, Mirror's Edge, I forgot about that game." And for me, I feel like that makes it underrated.
nice.
So, there you
I hit
go.
I
Let's
hit the
go.
mark of 1.
Let's go. So the next one I want to talk about, just kind of like how Burnout is like my favorite racing game in that series. I want to give love to another game from a different genre, the fighting game genre. Um, everyone talks about, your Street Fighters, your Mortal Kombats, your Tekkens. Those are like the big your Marvel versus Capcom, just Smash Brothers. Everyone talks about those like five fighting games the most in the fighting game community. Have always loved the Soul Calibur series. I think Soul Calibur is, in my opinion, probably the the best fighter. Like there's a in my opinion. I think the character designs are peak. I think the actual story mode probably comes in second to like maybe a Mortal Kombat story mode. But what gets me every time about Soul Calibur is they actually from Soul Calibur 2 to 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, they all have a really solid story mode, which I
Which you
think
wouldn't
really
expect.
sets which you
Yeah.
don't really expect from a fighting game. And so most fighting games typically, you have your arcade modes where there's like a story mode in the sense like you pick your character, you fight 5 or 10 battles. If you win and beat the final boss in that tier list, you get like a little like 2-minute cutscene about what they're doing in the timeline. So the Soul Calibur series did a really good job of actually implementing that, continue the continuity, having their own individual story mode, and then on top of that, the goated thing about Soul Calibur, and I think this is what really sets Soul Calibur apart. There's two parts. One, their guest characters. Their guest characters are what makes you want to buy. This is before DLC was even a thing, right? Guest characters. Soul Calibur. I'm going to start with Soul Calibur 2. There were three guest characters that came on different versions. You had Heihachi for the PS1, PS2 version, Tekken Fighter. You had Spawn for the Xbox, and then you had fucking Link
I mean,
for the GameCube, right? Like, how the fuck did Soul Calibur get the rights to those characters? Which blows my mind, right? And
because
then
Link's
Soul
in
Calibur
Smash,
3,
right?
Link is in Smash. Yeah, Link is in
Did Soul Calibur
Smash.
get them after Smash?
Yeah. Link
So
was in the first Smash Bros.
that's
So
really weird.
yeah,
How
so Soul
like
Calibur got that.
because who
Mhm.
makes Soul Calibur? What developer?
Bandai Namco
Bandai,
or
and they
Namco
don't
Namco
Namco
Bandai. There's
Bandai,
Bandai
yeah.
Namco and then Namco Bandai.
And then Nambai Banco.
Yeah, I
um,
know, right?
I don't think they ever had strong ties with
Mhm.
the Nintendo IP. Um,
No, never. They never did.
And
And that's what it's
it
crazy to
strikes
me.
me how
Yeah.
they would, sell that for. Maybe they needed the cash injection. Maybe that's what paid for Breath of the Wild.
Maybe.
It'll have been
May
a big amount. Like we're talking
Yeah.
millions.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. Yeah, it's crazy to think about because I'm thinking about it now. I'm trying to see if they actually had. Yeah, so it's weird because they went through an interesting time where from there they had that great thing, and then Soul Calibur 3 actually did not give you guest characters, but this is the genius thing they did. They've added a character creator where you could create your own character and pick whatever fighting style that you wanted to, and then like you could like I've seen like people put in like reimagined versions of their guest characters like Kratos being in Soul Calibur 3, like to create the how creative these people are is insane. Like you could put Goku in there if you tried really hard enough, right? And so they took that away and they're like, all right, well, I guess the guest character thing's done. And then they come back with Soul Calibur 4 with another crazy guest character, fucking Darth Vader on the PS3 and then Yoda on the Xbox. Like, what in the actual fuck? How do you, as a fighting game, which again, we're not talking Street Fighter, we're not talking Tekken, we're not talking Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat is also really well known for their guest characters as well. Props on that. But like, you're not these big three guys, but somehow Soul Calibur's like, we come out every once in a blue moon, we're gonna dish out the money for these guest characters. And then they did a tie-in with the Force Unleashed games where they had the Apprentice as a bonus character as well. And then Soul Calibur 5 comes out. And again, mind you, these characters, unless you wanted the other version exclusive character, that was DLC. But then Soul Calibur 5 comes out, and this is why it's one of my go-to games, even though Soul Calibur 5 is the worst one in the series. They had Ezio fucking Auditore as a guest character in Soul Calibur 5, bro. He like what the fuck? And then Soul Calibur 6 comes out with fucking Geralt from The Witcher, and then 2B from freaking Nier Automata. Like, bro. Now those to be, but again, Geralt and Ezio, they're all characters in the game. These are not paid guest characters. Like they stayed true to their format from Soul Calibur 2 and onward. We're like, hey, if you buy our game, you're gonna get this guest character no matter what. Now they, obviously with 5 and 6, they did finally roll out DLC and stuff like that with those guys, which is fine, mind you. But the base game having, your Darth Vaders, your Ezio's, your Geralts, your Links, like what the heck? And then I also think on a PSP version of it, they had fucking Kratos.
I
Like,
mean, what
come
more
on.
do you want?
Like,
What more do you want?
yeah, it's a goated fighting game. Personally, I think it fights the best. Your character's fighting with giant swords and staffs and knives, and you can and whips and stuff like that. It's a really fun fighter. It's not just punching people in the face or whatnot. And it's 3D. It's a 3D plane, so you can do rotationals and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful game, and they have great music. And God, the 6 came out, and they did a rebrand back in like 2003. Not 2003, 2022, I think was the last one that came out. Soul Calibur 6. I don't know if we're ever getting another one because I don't think it sold well enough. But like the fact of the matter is, like, I just feel like that game just needs its love. I wish more people played it. I wish more people gave it a shot. I personally think it's better than every fighter out there, in my opinion. And I needed to get on my pedestal and give it a shout because it's fucking great. Like I
I
don't know
can't throw
how
my 2 cents in because
as a as a company who they can't make because their games don't sell well, they're somehow pouring money into this game and getting these guest characters, which is all right. Let's
I
go.
can't put my 2 cents in because the only game I've ever like remotely played is Tekken, and that didn't last long. I'm going to tell you that for free.
Fair.
That definitely didn't last long. I
You
have
pull
to
the
scroll
ship
through
for
my
Soul
library.
Calibur.
Um, there are a couple in here that I think are pretty decent that I haven't seen much traction under. One that I recently played off stream with Nick in the old
Okay.
house, Bokura. or Bakura. It's
I've never heard of it.
it's like a platformer. It's a 2-hour,
Okay.
two-player platformer, and
Mhm.
it's a really really good game. We completed it in 6.2 hours, and I think we were playing it pretty slow. There's a lot of like puzzle type things.
Okay.
It's similar to I'm trying to think of these two-player co-op games where you're in different worlds. You know, like in It Takes Two, you would always have like
Yeah.
the brute force puzzle, and I would get the like the semi trying to be smart one. You would have like all the
Yeah.
lifting and stuff, and I would have to do jumping and climbing and pressing buttons.
Mhm.
Um, Okura follows a similar pattern in art style. It's not a spoiler or anything. It's part of the game. One's in like future retro, and one's like in the past, and
Mhm.
it's a perfect weave of just what what's what's the easiest way to put this? Like a very, very, very good story in what appears to be just a side scroller. And
Okay.
it's really cool because it didn't really work too well because me and Nick were well, I was in Australia and Nick was in Europe. Um,
Mhm.
and you have to coordinate. You have to solve the puzzles together.
Mhm.
And having a latency lag did not help that at all.
I can only imagine.
It was
I can
quite
only
infuriating at
imagine.
time, but
I
Nick
bet.
was
I bet.
screaming at me, going, "Would you just pick the box up?" It's like, I'm picking the box up.
I can hear Nick. I heard your voice and I literally heard Nick's voice coming out of your mouth.
It's
That's
just, it's just
crazy.
Jake, pick the box up. Um, but I don't think it ever got
Uh,
traction. I think it got played by a couple of streamers. Um,
okay.
and then kind of fell off the face of the earth. So if you're looking for like a
Mm,
two-player game that's really cheap that isn't made by EA, because I mean, what is it? It Takes Two, A Way Out, and then the newest one. I forgot what it's
the
called.
newest one.
The sci-fi one. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would definitely say that that is a very underrated game, and the fact that Luke hasn't heard it and he has a library of 1,000,000,001 games means I've hit the nail on the head on that one. But
There
I
you
can't take
go.
note for
You
that
got
because
it.
Nick showed it me. He got it from a
Yeah.
streamer that he watched that played it. So,
Okay.
but that's how games spread, right? You see it and go, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. And I
Yeah.
think there's alternate
Exactly.
endings as well, which always helps. You
Yeah.
know, because like if you see a streamer play it and you could get a different ending or a different like story path, it's definitely
Mhm.
worth playing. I think more games should invest in that because
I agree.
when my major like game consumption is watching other people play games.
Mhm.
It's a very weird concept, but like I don't.
It is a weird concept when you
It
think
saved me
about
a
it,
lot of
right?
money
Like it's like,
in the long run.
yeah. No, for sure. No, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a weird concept to think about watching someone else play games. But I'm gonna be real. I watched the Achievement Hunter gang play Minecraft for about 2 years straight before I
Yeah.
even touched it. I was like, I don't need to play it. I'm watching them play it. That's fun. Cool. Love it. Having so much fun watching these guys do it. But yeah, no, 100% those games itself, like you said, those smaller games that you don't hear about, that's always great. I honestly have never heard of it. I'm definitely gonna have to look it up because I literally
I would
cannot
play it
even
with you, Luke.
imagine.
I would definitely play it with you if you wanted to.
Okay, let's
I
do it.
feel like it's
As long as you pick up the fucking box.
yeah, the latency would be even worse from Australia.
Oh no, right? We'll literally have to hop onto we'll definitely have to get onto Nord and do that for sure.
It's only $6.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
It's definitely worth investing in. I mean, who everyone could spare $6. I mean, not
Yeah,
everyone,
no,
but
for sure.
if you're looking at
Six
buying
bucks.
games, $6 is a very, very low starting point. Usually when I'm looking for a new game, it's like, okay, I've got 100 AUD, so about 50 US,
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
my bank. Like, okay, I'm looking for a game. Let's buy something. And then if I
Yeah,
see something for six,
exactly.
well, I've got enough to go down to the bottle and buy a crate of
Yeah.
beer to enjoy
Yeah,
that game
6
with.
bucks. Yeah, $6 here, that's like eggs. So, like, you just go with eggs for without eggs for a week and you're good.
Got eggs again.
All right, so I've got another game that kinda just came to my mind. This one's a Pokemon game. And I think Jake's gonna know exactly what game I'm talking about because
Pinball,
I've talked to Jake. No.
Mantine
Pinballs.
Surf,
Fuck that. No. No, Jake knows exactly what game I'm talking about because I've talked to Jake so much about this game. But I cannot stress it enough. Guys, Pokemon Conquest. is such a great Pokemon spinoff that most people that I talk to about this game, they have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Right? Like, you think of Pokemon, you think of the spin-offs, you think of like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, you think of the Pokemon Ranger series, you think of like Jake mentioned before, the Pokemon Pinballs. Pokemon Conquest was a one-off game that was done with the time with the Nobunga strategy games. It's very I basically it's basically Fire Emblem, Pokemon Fire Emblem in the sense of it's a strategy game where you have to partner up with your Pokemon. You get a perfect match with your Pokemon, and you can only get to use those Pokemon, which I think is actually really unique in the sense that you want to pair up the best match for your Pokemon. So it's not like, all right, you can have this amazing team. Like, there's no real type advantages in the sense like, yes, fire is weak against water, and grass is weak against fire and stuff like that. That's still very much in the game, but it's not your traditional. You pick a move and whatnot, and you go for it. It's very much moving like chess pieces on the board. It's got a really fun story. Um, it's so different and something where when I first got it, never thought in a million years I was gonna like it because I'm like, what the fuck? Because when I first loaded it up, I'm like, this is very different from the Pokemon I'm used to. I'd never played a Fire Emblem at that point. Um, I just saw Zekrom and a guy with a looking like a samurai on the cover, and I said, that's pretty cool. I want to get that game. Yeah, it became one of my beloved games, man, from the Pokemon franchise. It's just a fun game overall. You can you can find it somewhere on the internet and play it. So do that if you don't have a DS, because if you were to buy that game, you probably would spend close to $500 USD for that game. So yeah,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
like it's probably I don't know, Jake. Look it up. How much is a sealed copy of Pokemon Conquest? If it's
Sealed?
even
Oh
because I don't
god.
or yeah, a sealed
I
copy.
could see the cart for 129 dollars
Okay, the
cart
car's not okay.
only. Yes, and
Okay.
whoops.
What about the box?
Um, Pokemon Conquest boxed.
Yeah, not like sealed, but like just the case. With the case. Where's the case? It needs the case.
Oh, so there is the only one I could see is a Japanese version, um,
Okay.
which is $100 because the Japanese games get overprinted.
Yes, they do.
So I could see one pre-owned here on eBay going for $300.
Yeah. And I think
So
it goes to show that there's only one of them. Like, it was not printed a lot. Like, it was a
yeah,
very much one of their lowest selling games because it was hard. Like, it's a strategy game. It's not, it's not a simple story game like Pokemon. It's not a traditional pick your move and go. It's not a dungeon crawler like Mystery Dungeon. It's not taking your stylus and going in a circle like Pokemon Ranger. Like, it's very much a semi difficult strategy game where back in the day, if you weren't,
hey,
I don't
I've
know.
got an absolute bargain here. I could see one on the Australian eBay.
Ooh.
Pre-owned, boxed with manuals, tested and working, 169 Aussie dollars.
There you go, Jake. Beautiful. Go get it right now. Go do
And then
yourself a
the
favor and
one
go
below
play
it
it.
is the one below it is 279. So yeah, I
All
mean
right.
that
Yeah.
I could pick it up. I
No,
mean,
and
I've got a modded DS, and so like I'm just looking on it now. It was DS era, right? Because it was 2012.
yeah,
I'm just gonna see if
DSi
I've
era. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I feel like well,
I think it
this will
came out
definitely have it. 'Cause it'll
yeah,
have
it came out
every game under the
it came
sun.
out it came out in between black and white too on the DS.
I mean,
But yeah,
I'll
it's just a
definitely play it. I probably might play it on the fly because the
yeah.
reviews I'm reading, because I googled it, I was like, hang on, I know what it is. It's just I needed to
Mhm.
rejog my memory, and now I know what it is. They all say it's like very fast paced.
Yeah.
You can play it however you want, really. It's not
Mhm.
there is no like defining factor, like you said, where usually with Pokemon, it's a very linear type game where you've got type differences, and you kind of end up playing the same style. You always end up with a
Yeah.
similar team. There's no like you always end up with like a pseudo legendary or a legendary, and then your
Mhm.
starter, and then your token Pikachu clone or whatever you want to play.
And your
It's
fly and your Route 1 flyer and your surf guy, your water guy that does surf, you know? Yeah. No, very much so, and that's just kinda how it's always been with traditional Pokemon games, and so, like, for the spin-off sakes, I just think it's one of those ones where I think it missed a lot of people, the DS era, because I feel like for people at least our age, Jake, that was probably that in-between time where, I think I was like in high school. I was like a junior or sophomore in high school. I wasn't the biggest fan of black and white at the time, and it definitely. I feel like if I was like that, a bunch of people were like that, and probably were just avoiding Pokemon like the plague at that point.
yep.
And so I just feel like I feel like a lot of people just did not get a chance to play it, and I think it's a different take on Pokemon, and I think it does it really really well, and I just want more people to play it. I think it's underrated. I firmly believe it's underrated, and more people should show it love and give it a chance.
And
And there's
I
ways to do it, so have fun with it, please.
definitely, definitely. Uh, I'm kind of like I'm not exhausted on underrated games because there are some stuff that like I know
Mhm,
is good. Like I'm scrolling down my Steam list because I generally play like more awkward games on Steam.
mhm,
And then I'm just looking down the list, like Red Orchestra 2. A lot of people have
mhm.
played Armor 3. Red Orchestra 2 is a fantastic game. Heavily realistic, like one shot and
Okay.
dead, no mini map, no nothing. It can be intensely stressful because you don't know where you've died from. You don't know who killed where, and it's massively multiplayer as well. So you'll end up with 200, 300 people on a server.
Mhm.
I would definitely, I'd like say to people pick that up. Royce as well, Reus, is a very nice indie game where
Okay.
you control titans of
Ooh,
of elements. I think this
okay.
actually a Royce 2, and it's a really nice art style because you can see the Earth around the circle, and then each bit has different like areas of Titans, so you can make like a desert and a forest and a water one and a like I can't remember the fourth one, sky maybe I don't know, but
Mhm,
it's all about balancing the Earth. It's you have little tribes that live in the specific areas, and then sometimes they can go to war and kill each other, and it's like you end up failing because one of your Titans dies. Um, it's a really good fun game. Like, I really enjoyed that, and I don't think anyone has played that because I picked that up and I was like, "Oh." I picked up, like, Boca of, like, a $10 or £10 at the time,
yeah.
and that was pretty good. Um, the the Metro series, I don't think it's underrated. I think no, actually, it is underrated. People have
I've
played
heard
it.
of Metro, but, like, the thing is that it's like the people who play Metro are the only people I know that play Metro. People do not go outside of Metro. Like, the
Like,
one person that I know that plays Metro, they play Metro, and that's what they do. That's their thing. And they swear that Metro is a great game and no one ever gives it a try because it's not, like, I guess, their cup of tea. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's a great game that my friend Chris loves to death. Like, he loves the Metro series.
I would highly recommend it to anyone. Anyone. Usually you could pick
Wow.
up like the whole Redux series. So they
Okay.
did like a remaster of the old ones. Let me see how much
Okay.
that is going for on Steam. Um, and you don't need a very powerful PC to play it. I think that's why I picked it up.
Okay.
Because my PC was kind of garbo at the time, and it kind of still is. You could play it on the Switch. Actually, I've got it on the Switch. You could buy it
Nice.
because the Redux games are just whatever it is. $20 for 2 games. I think. Oh no, that's
Not bad.
2033. Um, very good post-apocalyptic one-way street down the road. It's it's great. I think very positive on Steam in terms of all the reviews. Single player, you can get the whole Metro bundle, including the expansion pass for Exodus, which is the most recent one, for £52. 3 games and an
Not bad at
expansion
all.
pass for £52. I think that's pretty good. If you're into the whole post-apocalyptic side of things and you've never played Metro, I would highly recommend it. It's probably, in my opinion, it does it the best. I don't like Exodus because it's more open world and it's not what Metro was to me. There's also two types
Mhm.
of game modes that you could play. You can play the way the creators and I think the author, because it's based on a book, um,
Okay.
wanted it to be styled, which is survivalist, where you literally have like 8 bullets in your gun, and that's it. And I'm not gonna lie, you can't kill the monsters with a knife, so it's very sneaky beaky like. Or you could play the arcadey
Okay.
one where it just gives you shit tons of ammo and you're going around with a, which is what I played, which is the machine gun, and you just go into the underground tunnels and just. But
Oh man, I love
I
it.
would highly recommend it. It's not exactly strategy. I'd say it's very arcadey. It's very
Yeah,
arcadey. And if you haven't
I
played
love a
it,
good arcade shooter.
I don't think you need many hours in it. Let me see how many
Yeah.
hours I think it's maybe like 20 a game. Not even that, because I did a bit of exploring. Last Light took me
Hey,
7 hours, and 2033 took me 8 hours. Yes, so you could complete the whole series in about 16 hours.
that's not bad at all. For the price that it's asking in the gameplay, get a good experience for a good, under 20-hour experience for a good amount of money. And yeah, like I said, like even though I've never personally played it and shooters have never been like my type of game that I ever go towards. Everyone who and their mother who's played Metro has told me that it's amazing. And so I could not be more on board with your recommendation, Jake. And I do feel like it is a very underrated game that a lot of people don't tend to talk
Again,
about.
an old one. Play the
Yeah,
Redux
for
versions.
sure.
Play the remastered. So
Yes.
they're definitely way
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like trying to tell someone to go play the original Doom. You'd be like, "Yeah, don't avoid Doom 2016, just go play Doom." But no, go play. If they have a remaster for it, definitely go play it. So 100%. And then I have two more games that I want to touch on really quick. Um, and then I think I'll be good with the list of underrated games I want to talk about. So the first one I feel like I have to talk about it. Like I just said, I'm not the biggest shooter guy, but I do love me my Tom Clancy game. And this game series specifically, I think it's got a cult following, and I do not know why the fuck it has not been there has not been another one, and to my knowledge, or at least a good one that's come out. But the Splinter Cell series, man, the
You
Splinter
do
Cell
forget
Tom
that
you like those. I feel like you forget about it. I feel like you remember your Rainbow Sixes and you have your basic Tom Clancy's and Ghost Recon got a kind of a reboot with the Wildland series. That came out, but I feel like everyone just forgets about Splinter Cell, and I think Splinter Cell, specifically Splinter Cell Blacklist, like that was an amazing stealth co-op game that I feel like
I
you
did
just kind
not
of missed that.
I did not realize how many Tom Clancy games there were. Did you know
Was it?
in 2006, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games released
Um,
under the Tom Clancy name?
wow.
You had Vegas, Splinter Cell Double Agent, Splinter Cell
Okay.
Essentials, Rainbow Six Critical Hour, and Ghost Recon Advanced Warfire.
Okay.
That's 5
Huh.
games in it. I mean, it sounds like a couple of them are like, maybe no, they're not DLCs. Well, DLC didn't exist in 2006. These are all
No, it
standalone
didn't.
games. Oh my
Wow.
days.
Crazy.
And then there
Did
was
not know that.
4 in 210 with Splinter Cell
Okay.
Conviction, Hawks 2, Ghost Recon Predator, and then Ghost Recon Remastered 2010. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Oh no, apparently it's on the Wii.
Okay.
I forget that they
When
had to
was the
make. Go on.
was the last Splinter Cell, since you've got it pulled up? Was it Blacklist? Was that the last one they've made, or have they
Yeah,
made another one since then?
2013 Splinter Cell Blacklist. Yeah.
There's
And then
no other Splinter Cells.
before that were not after that. So 2010 was
Woo.
Conviction. Um, and then 2006, like I said. 2005 had Chaos Theory.
Mhm.
2004 had Pandora's Tomorrow. And then 2002 had the original Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Me
Stealth
personally,
action redefined.
yeah. Like
Rock on.
just coming from someone who really enjoys this, even though like Assassin's Creed's not the stealthiest game in the world, but like the idea, like coming from a person like for me, I didn't play Splinter Cell until I played Assassin's Creed 2, and then I went back and played Blacklist. I went back and played the 2010 one. They're just really good games, man. And I think the mindset for a lot of people when it comes to shooters is they do want more of that just run and gun kind of thing, right? I feel like they just missed out, man. Like the fact that there has not been another Splinter Cell and it is since 2000. You said what, 14 was when Blacklist
Uh,
came out?
2013. What will surprise you might be in luck, Luke. I am sat on Wikipedia here, and Wikipedia is take a pinch of salt with Wikipedia. It says Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell remake to be announced.
I'll believe it when I fucking see it because they just keep sucking Siege's dick. I'm tired of Siege. I'm tired of Rainbow Six Siege. Get that shit out of here. But yeah, no, like the Splinter Cell series is just like as great, man. Like I feel like if you could go back and play it, like go play it, like it probably doesn't hold up nearly as well because it is 2025 and that game came out in 2013. But I've replayed it like I've replayed it like back in 2018 and it held up pretty well. From what I can remember, it was a good time. Um, but yeah, if they actually announce a remake or a reimagining for Splinter Cell, I will be happy because those are my favorite Clancy games. I think they deserve more love, and I do feel like they are a tad bit underrated for sure. Because
Oh,
while
100%.
everyone
And I
loves
think
well, yeah,
I think 2013 is a perfect time to go back and play games. Like
yeah,
the era of the PlayStation 3, you can if you can get it on PC, you can crank those graphic settings. You can put a load of like resampling on, and you can make it look like what I would class as a 2020 game.
yeah,
Like you could definitely make
yeah.
it
You
look
could
HD.
Yeah, you can definitely make it look good. And I think one thing that Tom Clancy has going for it specifically is the controller. So I think the controls on it were really good, so it shouldn't feel that rough. Which is where you get when you do upres a lot of those PS3 games, early late PS3 games. Is this is like the controls are a little clunky compared to the newer games. But yeah, no, definitely Splinter Cell is a beloved one for me. Definitely very underrated. What's up?
I've got
You
one that
waving
comes
your
into my
finger at
head.
me.
I've
Go
got one
ahead.
that came into my head because it just said co-op game, and I was like, of course, there's one co-op game that I think is hugely underrated, but no one will have ever played it ever again because I don't think they made another one. It was Army of Two.
Oh
Uh,
shit. I've
Army of
heard
Two.
about Army of Two.
Army of Two was such a good game,
I've never played it.
and it just got discontinued. Um,
What?
I'm wondering if I could get maybe an emulator and we can get a playthrough going because I'd love to play that game again. It's
Okay.
I don't obviously how many games did they make? They made three. They
Okay.
made Army of Two, which and then Army of Two: The 40th Day, which came out in 2010. The original came in 2008, and then one in 2013. I think we just said 2013 is perfect to emulate. Um,
All
the
right.
Devil's Cartel, and I feel like this this is an underrated game. I finally got one. It just took me 53 minutes of talking about old games to understand like the brain clocked, and I was like, you know what? Third person shooter
Army of
game.
Two. Yeah.
You literally both characters back to back. You like lean off one
Mhm.
another. You can throw people around corners, throw them up. It's very teamwork based. Oh, it's amazing. I love this game. If we can get a playthrough going of this, Luke,
I'd love it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll
I
make it
love it.
work.
I
I'll see
love
if I
those
can
kind
make it work.
I was thinking when you said Army of Two, I was like, is there a second one? I was like, is it gonna be called Army of Two Two? Army of Two Two.
Army of two
It,
times two. There's now four
times
of you.
two. There's four. There's four. That's for four people. No, that's great. No, I'm glad you finally got one. Let's go. And then honestly, just to wrap it up, I'm just gonna go on a little bit of a tangent here. Now, people in the comments will say isn't underrated. I'm gonna tell people right now, it shouldn't be underrated, but I do feel like it's drastically underrated for a game series that I love. Um, Persona 4 Golden is I'll tell you right now, it was called the PS Vita seller. Like it came on the PS Vita. everyone who owned a Vita bought that game. I personally bought a PlayStation Vita. I spent $300 to go get a Vita just to play this game, right? But since then, most people had never really touched a Persona game, and then Persona 5 came out, and then everyone loved Persona 5. And then they was like, it was really hard to go back and to the older games because Persona 5 was just leaps and bounds like better graphically than the game. Persona 4 Golden, it was a remake of Persona 4 that came out on the PS2 back in like '08. And so lo and behold, a couple years back, they remade Persona 3. And so everyone was like, oh, I can go play Persona 3 and it looks nice now. And they'll go out there and go back there and play that. And then that was like, oh, Persona 5 so good, Persona 3 so good. And then people were like, I don't know about Persona 4. Or they'll play it and they can't get into it because it doesn't look as nice. Yo, fuck off. Go play that fucking game. All right. This is to all the Persona 4 haters out there. Like, fuck off. Go play yourself a great game. It's like the funnest version of Persona that you could probably play because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Like, it is just one of those games that just you feel like you're in a Saturday morning like anime cartoon. It's so much fun. Yes, there's like a dark plot going on with it where like they're trying to solve these murders that are going on, but like the characterizations, like the group of characters that you become friends with in this game, they work so well together. They cover pretty deep topics for the time period in 2008. That being, obviously one of them being self harm, which is a big one. 2008, talking about male masculinity and just going through the idea of like, oh, just because this person's a little enjoys more feminine things, that makes them, a homosexual. And then, again, kind of uh, being a female dominated and being a female in a male dominated sphere, like covering very like interesting topics that I don't personally see video games ever talk about. Specifically, a game coming out in 2008, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Like pretty crazy topics where like when I was playing, I was not expecting it. But it's just the vibe, man. Like Persona 5, you're like rebelling. Persona 3, you're just sad and depressed the whole time. And Persona 4, you're just having a good time with your buds, and it's just a great game. And I'm pretty sure they're going to remake it. I think they registered an IP for P4R, which is probably going to be a Persona 4 remake. And then everyone will probably play that one, so they can. And then I'll say, I'm sorry, I told you guys to, fuck off and play it. But like guys, like just because it doesn't look as great does not mean the game is not good. I think I'll leave it at that. Just because graphically a game, I don't get me wrong, I think graphics do play an important part, but that game still holds up to this day. I played it on the Vita back in 2016. I played it on my PC in 2023, and I have it downloaded on my Switch ready for a rainy day when that day comes. Do yourself a favor, play Persona 4, get off your high horse and stop complaining about the fucking graphics. All right, and go out there and just enjoy yourself a good fucking game. And I rest my case. Go play Persona 4 Golden, guys. Just do it. Do it. If you like JRPGs and if you fucking like Persona, just go fucking play it. Jeez. All right, I'm done.
Oh, nice. It wraps it up quite nicely. It's a lovely finishing
Yeah.
finishing message
Yeah,
to the fans.
as yeah, fuck off and play this game.
See you next
Quote
week.
of the year. Yes. But guys, in all seriousness, guys, that'll do us for this episode of the Dual Hemisphere Hangout. Guys, we listed a couple games, underrated games. Let us know what some of your underrated games are in the comments. You can always leave that in the comments, message me on Instagram or anything like that, and we'll definitely take a look at them. I'm pretty sure me and Jake are going to be playing Army of Two at some point, so I guess
I will
look
make it
forward
work.
to that. If
It'll
Jake
be
can make
laggy
it
as
work,
hell, but I'll make it work.
it's gonna make for some interesting content for the podcast. But overall, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Leave your underrated games in chat. Check out some of these underrated games. Go play Persona 4 Golden, and we will see you guys the next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.